Hey, what's up, everybody? I know you're thinking, what are you doing, Jay? Why are you going live right now? Well, today is the day I normally upload our me and Vicky from Fangirl Review. We do a review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we ran into an issue this week. For some reason, the audio got jumbled, and I couldn't fix it. So I decided instead of doing a combined episode for next week of 3 and 4, I decided just going to do a quick little thoughts video for episode 3. Hopefully next week everything will be back, to normal, and hopefully, and maybe we might go live next week. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out because I'm actually liking the live stream of this using StreamYard, so I may try to convince my guests to jump on StreamYard next week and do it live. But for now, I thought it'd just be quicker to just do it this way. That way it won't take too much time from next week's episode, because I think next week's episode is going to be big based on the cliffhanger we got at the end of this episode. So to start things off, pretty much this episode, you could just call it the Zemo is the MVP. I mean, Baron Zemo is back, and they do a very interesting take on a Prison Break, but they still keep the kind of like those Prison Break movie tropes in it, where two people just start fighting, and next thing you know, that's how it's easy for the person trying to escape. I thought it was funny the way they did it, simply because you have Bucky, who basically Sam is not going to go along with it, so Bucky basically gives him a hypothetical of what actually happened. So I thought that was hilarious. But this is basically them putting a character spotlight on Zemo. And the funny thing about it is, if you read the comics, you know that Zemo is a Baron. And in Civil War, they didn't go with that. They went with he was some kind of strike team leader. They kind of retconned that a little bit and pretty much put him back to his comic book style roots with the mask and everything. So they have to go to one of Wolverine's favorite stomping grounds, which is Madripoor. We finally get to see a look at Madripoor, and they made it look very Blade Runnery for the most part, which, I mean, it works depending on what kind of depiction, because we only seen Madripoor depicted in a couple of the animated stuff that they've done, and they made it look, believable, in my opinion. The whole thing of this episode centers around this mysterious figure called the Power Broker. I have some ideas of who that might be. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll go over that at the end of the season when I do my overall thoughts of the season and stuff. But basically, they're looking for the remaining super soldier serum and who created it and all of that. So basically, they have to go in undercover, essentially. Zemo needs Bucky to be the Winter Soldier and act like the Winter Soldier, while Sam needs to act like a character called Smiling Tiger, who is actually in the comics, but I don't remember him. So maybe that was before I started reading. So I thought it was actually funny, because the best lines in this episode all go to Baron Zemo. They all go to Zemo. He brings up the best points. He has the best lines. I was just like, okay, so yeah, they really did make this really Zemo-centric. Now, we do get the return of Sharon Carter, Agent 13. And apparently, after Civil War, she's been on the run. Now, they didn't say whether she blipped out, so I guess she didn't. But she's been on the run. She's living in Madripoor, because if she steps foot back in the States, she's going to prison for helping Steve and Sam during the Civil War incident. So she comes by to help them, and it's really odd, because the way they set things up, she comes through at the right time in every situation they find themselves in, which kind of lends to some people believing that she may be the power broker. I don't think so, but it's just some of the stuff that was happening was way too convenient for her to just pop up and just know stuff. We finally get to see the actual person who actually was able to synthesize the serum, and his name is Professor Nagel. And they're talking to him, invest in trying to probe him to try to figure out what happened. They find out that Carly from the Flag Smashers, she actually stole all of the super soldier serum, and it was 20 vials of it. and he actually made it where you didn't have to sit in the machine. You can actually just drink it. And basically what happens is he was in the process of synthesizing more when he gets killed. There's a lot of death in this episode, by the way, like people getting shot, people getting killed. It was a lot of that going on. This was the action centric or action heavy episode, I would say. So they have to leave Madripoor and go on another because then they figure out that there's another place they can go when they find out that she's where Carly's I think it was her mother was located. And that is actually where pretty much the episode ends, because we have one cameo in there from Io. If you remember Black Panther and Civil War, because she was in both of those, played by Florence Kassoum, but she shows up at the end of the episode and like she's here for Zemo, and that's when we get the cliffhanger. But I thought it was interesting that the one that they sent Io. I thought that was interesting. Two, I know Bucky can't take Io. I like Bucky, I really do, but he can't beat Io. So I'm wondering how that whole situation is going to go, because Wakanda didn't forget that he was responsible for killing King T'Chaka. So they're not gonna let that go. They're not gonna let that ride. So it's very interesting to see where that leads. It's very interesting to see how Sharon Carter plays into all of this. And I'm still trying to figure out who the villain of this series is going to be, because even though they are shaping Carly and the Flag Smashers to be that villain, I think that's a red herring. Honestly, I think that the villain of the series is probably going to be the Power Broker when it's all said and done. They do have a scene with John Walker and Lamar. They're showing how he is in the comics. In the comics, John Walker, he can't handle pressure. So he starts to snap and he gets unhinged, because he is unhinged in the comics. And you're starting to see the cracks of that now. And I'm kind of liking that a little bit, because that's going to be another issue in going forward in the series, because we only got 3 more episodes. So I'm pretty sure that's going to come to a head pretty soon with him. I don't know if he's going to take the serum, because in the comics, I don't think he ever took the serum. Whatever they had that they could take, I don't think he ever took it in the comics. I may be wrong. I didn't follow that U.S. Agent stuff then, because back in the day, I didn't even like Captain America. I only really read X-Men and the Avengers comics, so I didn't really care for Captain America all that much. But I don't know. Maybe somebody in comics can let me know if he takes the serum, because I don't remember him taking it. And one thing about the serum thing, like in the comics, that nobody ever could recreate what Dr. Erskine did, which is why you have Luke Cage, you have Wolverine, you have Omega Red, because every country was trying to make their own super soldier. And they were trying to find different ways to do it. That's why you got the Incredible Hulk too, because everybody was trying something different. It's very interesting that they went with the route of, we found a way to synthesize it, and then the guy dies, but now you have 20 more subjects out there that they can synthesize it from their blood. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going forward. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully next week, everything will be back on point, and we'll be able to do the episodes like we normally do with Vicky and Mrs. T of the Mrs. T Show. So thanks for watching. Catch you next week. Peace. Wakanda forever.